The roar of the crowd echoed across the palace courtyard, a sea of curious faces pressed behind the wrought-iron cameras flashed like lightning bolts against the London sky, each flash a fragment of history waiting to be burned into memory. Prince William, flanked by Kate Middleton in an uncharacteristically sharp, dark ensemble, stepped onto the ground. His jaw was clenched, his eyes icy, and in his hands lay a sealed envelope bearing the unmistakable royal. For months, whispers had poisoned the air. Meghan and Harry, living in California sunlight, their hands allegedly deep in royal wealth, their titles intact despite their open defiance. They had played their cards with precision, interviews, memoirs, subtle jabs that bled the monarchy's dignity drip by. Many believed they had won, that the House of Windsor had bent under their pressure. But this was not capitulation. This was war. William began to speak, his voice cutting through the restless murmurs like a blade. Today, the people deserve the truth. And the crown deserves its justice. Gasps rippled through the crowd as he broke. Cameras zoomed in. Every channel across Britain cut to the feed. Meghan, thousands of miles away, was said to have been mid-toast during a private celebration in Montecito, the moment her world began. The document was not a mere letter, it was the revised royal will, signed and stamped by King Charles before his sudden health decline. 1 page. 4 lines. Enough to shake the foundations of the Sussex Empire. All previous entitlements to the Duke and Duchess of Sussex are hereby revoked. No financial, territorial, or honorary benefits shall pass to them or their. A shiver ran through the crowd. William's voice hardened as he continued, This is accountability. The balcony trembled with the weight of silence. William raised his head, scanning the crowd like a hawk struck. Behind him, Kate's fingers gripped the railing, tight, deliberate. She knew what was coming next. This document is not a piece of paper. It is the restoration of order. But you must also see why it was signed. He nodded to an aide, who wheeled forward a screen. A single touch, and the courtyard erupted in a storm of flashing images, confidential emails leaked, a series of recorded calls, and, most damning of all, a private video of Meghan Markle negotiating undisclosed deals with streaming giants, trading royal footage and private archives for millions, all under the guise of independent prod. Gasps turned to shouts. Reporters jostled for position. The name Sussex that had once carried a bittersweet glamour now hung like an. While they dined in luxury abroad, William pressed on, the monarchy was bled. Our history was. Our people were mocked. A pause followed. Then came the hammer blow. As of this moment, by the will you have witnessed and the council's unanimous consent, the titles Duke and Duchess of Sussex are not. The line they once claimed, erased. They are no longer of this house. Kate stepped forward, a rare flicker of steel in her eyes. The crown will not be their stage. The people will not be their prophet. At that exact second, in a sunlit California villa, Meghan's glass slipped from her fingers, shattering across imported marble. Harry's phone buzzed relentlessly. Screens, headlines, breaking alerts, stripped. Forgotten. But the story did not end with that balcony announcement. Thousands of miles away, as the last words of William's decree echoed across every screen in Britain, Meghan's eyes burned with a fury no camera had ever caught. They think this is over? She whispered, her voice trembling, not from fear, but from something. They've declared war. Then war they shall have. In a single night, her Montecito estate transformed into a war room. Legal teams were summoned. PR strategists were flown in under the cover of darkness. A mysterious encrypted file, rumored to contain unseen footage from the palace's private archives, landed in her hands, evidence she claimed could crush the monarchy's golden couple once. And Harry, pale and silent, watched as Meghan penned a single sentence to a trusted producer, prepare the Part 2 begins. British tabloids woke the next morning to a storm they didn't see coming, whispers of a tell-all sequel, darker, sharper, and aimed not just at the monarchy, but at William and Kate person. The crown had stripped her name. But Meghan had just stripped away her life. As Buckingham Palace prepared for the backlash, William's team scrambled to secure every channel. Every Kate, stoic in public but shaken in private, was said to have warned him, she will not go quietly. She never has. And she was right. A teaser appeared days later, a black screen, a whispering voice unmistakable to millions, Meghan. This time, no filters. No edits. Just the truth they've hidden for years. Was it a threat? A confession? Or the opening salvo of a war Britain had not yet seen the end of? In the palace halls, portraits of kings and queens past seemed to watch in silence, their painted eyes heavy with the weight. For all the triumph of that balcony moment, for all the cheers that night in London, the crown had not won. It had won a battle. And across the ocean, a storm was gathering, one that threatened to drag the royal family, once again, into the eye of a scandal it thought it had